Is the universe limitless? Does it have an edge? Also, provided that this is true, what might you check whether you went there? Today we realized that the universe had a start a long time back and that it's been extending from that point forward. However, something that is extending ought to likewise have an edge, isn't that so? Indeed, it kind of does. Data can't travel quicker than light. That implies that we can see portions of the universe whose light had the opportunity to contact us in the last 14 billion years. At the point when we look outwards, what we see is a circle focused on us, the recognizable universe. Yet, it gets a touch more muddled because, as the universe has been growing, we know that the most faraway things whose light we can see are in fact 45 billion light-years from us at this moment. So the discernible universe is a circle with a sweep of 45 billion light-years. It contains around 200 billion cosmic systems, each with many billions of stars. So for our purposes, there is an edge. We are looking at the past until there is only no previous left. This edge is truly more like an edge in time and, as it were, unimportant. The genuine universe is without a doubt greater than what we can see. Yet, how much? There are two choices: either the universe is huge yet limited, or it's genuinely endless. A limited universe really intends that, if you want to fill it with frozen yogurt, you can make it happen. You want a ton of ice cream, but it is a limited sum. In any case, that prompts a strange issue. Such a universe ought to have an edge, an enormous wall where space closes. Furthermore, on the off chance that there is an edge, there ought to be something outside that edge. Be that as it may, the universe, by definition, is everything that matters, so how should there be stuff outside all there is? Does the possibility of something beyond all that even seem to make sense? Besides, obviously, there is a material science hack. You can have a universe that has no boundary, yet entirely that still could be loaded up with a limited measure of frozen yogurt. Consider the possibility that the universe is really limited. Imagine an orange and a truly little subterranean insect. The insect can see a little piece of the skin, similarly as you can see a little piece of the universe. Yet, assuming the insect begins strolling, it will ultimately stroll around the entire orange and have returned to its starting stage. So the skin of an orange is not boundless, however it doesn't have a boundary. The universe isn't similar to the skin of an orange, however, it very well may be basically the same. Rather than a circle, it very well may be a hypersphere, where 3D space is twisted on itself. Which is inconceivable for your mind to, sadly, imagine. Be that as it may, the point is, no boundaries, no beyond the hypersphere. From our human insect point of view, our entire 3D space resembles the strip of the orange. If you were on board a spaceship flying in a straight line, you would ultimately return to Earth. How does any of this seem to make sense? The genuine material science is hard, so we need to improve and lie a piece here. Yet, basically everything boils down to gravity. The manner in which it works is simply mass makes gravity by twisting spacetime. This twisting is the most grounded where the mass is, however, kind of stretches on perpetually, similar to a very gentle pressure in the texture of spacetime itself. This could twist the entire universe in a way where it twists back on itself, which then, at that point, makes the hypersphere. If you see this as befuddling, we are with you. In the event that the universe is a hypersphere, how might we at any point figure out how enormous it is? On Earth, we can see things vanish underneath the skyline, and that assists us with working out how huge the Earth is. Researchers attempted to discover some kind of universe skyline that would uncover the size of the grandiose circle, yet saw nothing. Which really intends that assuming that the universe is a hypersphere, it should be huge to such an extent that according to our point of view, it seems as though we are living on a level surface. For this to check out, a hyperspherical universe ought to be something like multiple times greater than our perceptible part. It very well may be a trillion times greater as far as we might be aware, however not more modest than that. A few researchers thought about this as way too straightforward and thought of a more stunning choice. The universe could be like the ice of a donut. A hyperdonut, likewise difficult to imagine for your mind. This, as well, implies that assuming you travel in an orderly fashion, you'd return to where you began. However, with fun intricacies. In a hyperordinate universe, there is not a similar measure of stuff in each heading. On the off chance that two spaceships fly this way and that, one could return to the starting way prior. This likewise implies that light from distant systems would do fun and befuddling stuff, in a kind of grandiose Hall of Mirrors impact. We could see faraway things in two spots, in any case. In addition to that, however, we would see it in various moments in time. Since its light would have taken significantly longer to go in one course than the other. You could see a star being brought into the world in front of you and see that equivalent star bite the dust on the contrary side of the sky. How enormous would such a hyperordinate universe be? All things considered, in light of its odd calculation, as a matter of fact, this is somewhat the littlest conceivable universe, possibly just a couple of times greater than the recognizable universe. Yet, it could likewise be way, way greater. We don't have the foggiest idea. Alright. So much for limited universes. However, imagine a scenario in which it's really endless and space goes on for eternity. What might that be like? Consider the possibility that the universe is genuinely boundless. As a matter of fact, the cosmological model utilized by most researchers describes a limitless universe. We for the most part use it to work out what occurs inside our discernible lump. However, whenever taken in a real sense, it predicts a boundless universe. A boundless universe goes on, all things considered, everlastingly, with no line anyplace, moreover, difficult to picture. Anywhere you look, you'll track down increasingly more stuff in each conceivable bearing. This sort of breaks our mind a piece for a couple of reasons. Most importantly, assuming the universe is boundless, is it additionally timeless and has been there for eternity? Was there a period where there was nothing all over and afterward there was something all over? Well, we don't have any idea, yet we have a ton of proof for the huge explosion, so it truly seems like the universe started previously. However, since the enormous detonation the universe has been growing. How might something boundless that is all over turn out to be much greater? Inestimable extension simply implies that the distance between cosmic systems is developing with time. Indeed, an endless space can increase. Welcome to the catch-22s of boundlessness. However, boundlessness gets a lot more irregular. As you go with your spaceship in an orderly fashion, you track down new cosmic systems, stars and planets, new wonders, new odd stuff, likely new outsiders, and new life forms more unusual than you might ever envision. Yet, after quite a while, you could see as the most exceptional thing in the universe, yourself. An exact duplicate of you watching this video at the present time. How is that possible? All things considered, all that in presence is made of a limited measure of various particles. What's more, a limited number of various particles can just be joined in a limited number of ways. That number might be huge to such an extent that it seems like boundlessness to our cerebrums, yet it's not actually. In the event that you have limited choices to construct things, however, limitless space that is loaded with things this way and that for eternity, then, at that point, it's a good idea that by unadulterated possibility, there will probably be redundancy. Despite the fact that since something is conceivable doesn't mean it will really work out. Perhaps the universe continues perpetually, however, just the exhausting stuff rehashes the same thing unendingly. Perhaps there is truly just a single you. Yet, assuming that the laws of physical science are the equivalent all over, then far, far away gas might have given birth to stars and planets, where crude hereditary data could rise out of science. Which could have wound up in cells and creatures that developed in truly impossible ways. Furthermore, ultimately, chimps that figure out how to make online recordings. It occurred no less than once, so the opportunity isn't zero. Regardless of whether the opportunity of there being an accurate duplicate of you watching this video at the present time is right around nothing, very nearly zero is still a gigantic number in a limitless universe. Sadly, you won't ever meet. Since nearly zero actually implies the opportunity is tiny. Earth, as it exists right presently, is so impossible you'd need to make a trip unquestionably far to see a second indistinguishable Earth, around 10 to the 10 to the 29, a 1 followed by 100 octillion zeros, times the size of the detectable universe. Up until this point, that it sort of means perpetually far away.